Good morning, everyone, to day one, Hot Rod Drag Week 2025. So they teched in 412 cars. The most ever at a Hot Rod Drag Week, and probably too many, in my opinion. It's going to be hard to get that many cars through and guys to make reruns. So, yeah, that's a lot of cars. So it's going to be mass chaos in the lanes today. The drivers meeting just got over. You can see these guys are rushing to get into the lanes. So, you know, there's a lot of cars, AV cars, trying to get up here for basically one pass only in your run groups. One pass and that's it. So after that pass, then they're going to go to the next run group. And then you got to wait to all runs, so no hot lapping. So these guys that are in a hurry to get their lap so they can go. Alright guys, so there's, I don't know, maybe 2 lanes of AB cars left. They were going to shut the AB car lanes down in about 10 minutes. So we're jumped in the car, Sean and I. Sean's running the D100 truck. You'll see in this picture, I'll pop it in here, and then Corey is running the Duster over here. And yeah, I was popping a video of his first run. Somebody else filmed it, so Sean did actually. I don't know if we'll get anybody to film our runs, but I'll have GoPro footage from you know, looking down from the hood at least, and then let you guys know how we did. So we did. I did increase the ramp since there's 219 cars in my class. I'm bringing in the nitrous in a little quicker, 70% off the hit instead of 60 in 0.45 seconds, and see if we can't run at least a 1080. You know, see where the chips fall tonight when they post the results on hotrod.com later this evening. So 412 cars total, 219 in Steet Machine Eliminator. So we'll give it a whirl and see what happens. We gotta set the tire pressure when I get up into the lanes, and then crack the bottle open, you know, put my jacket on, and hopefully we can make a nice ADB pass, because everybody's just getting one pass per session, and then I'm not going to stick around to all runs. So whatever we run, we run. Guys, not what I wanted. fix. We had to stop. Sean had to make some rear shock adjustments because he's, with this trailer on, he was bottoming out. So we pulled over before we leave the track, and he's making a quick change, moving some weight around to help. We had another little hiccup in the trip. Unfortunately, Sean is having another little issue. So he runs a Turbo 400 behind his Gen 3 Hemi with the supercharger. And driving along, all of a sudden we see white smoke coming out of his truck, you know, when he accelerates hard. Well, come to find out, so his transmission builder puts a 1 in 15, I believe it was 1 in 15/16 diameter Dorman plug where the speedometer gear housing goes, because Sean doesn't use that. And that plug apparently fell out. Don't know when or why or how. So we found a advanced auto parts store, and what you'll see Corey here in a second doing is grinding on a power steering cap that we found that was close to the diameter. Stuck it in there. They got a small piece of plate and a bolt to push it, or to cover it, I guess. And I had some 90-minute Right Stuff RTV. We sealed it up. You know, I basically couldn't do a whole lot, but they basically sealed it up, and now we're back on the road again.
Rick, this is the first time Rick was saying that the air intake temp was great.
So fortunately we haven't made it very far. So hopefully, I'm not going to say anything, but you know, we're gonna do good now. Well, guys, we have caught up to Milk Truck with Mark and Bill and the girls. So they're cruising along. And up here is coming up is Nick and his daughter. Well, guys, we're at the first checkpoint. Milk Truck and those guys are here. Sean had to stop and get some fuel. He'll be here in just a minute. So this is TPC Racing. Yes. Not sure what's up with the GNX, but they are doing something.
Pulling transmission.
Pulling transmission?
Yep.
Pulling a transmission. Well, guys, we are sitting in bumper traffic on 695 West. We've gone, I don't know, 80 miles maybe into the 240 mile roughly trip. Not including, that includes kind of going up to the hotel. So we're putzing along because, like I said, an accident. And this is where my Ford Contour cooling fans are kicking butt. So I've got low speed or dual fan, low speed, high speed. So I basically have a toggle switch, that I run 95% of the time on low speed. And then I'll turn off the low speed switch, turn on the high speed fan, and then basically, the car was running close to 200. Now we're sitting about 180 in this Hudson along traffic. Hopefully it's in a couple miles we can clear it and make up some time again. So make sure your cooling system guys are up to stuff. That's all I can tell you, because it's, I don't know how hot it is, it's pretty humid and stuff, and yeah, it just sucks. You're gonna do it. Well, hey guys, so we got into the hotel around 10 o'clock. I think it was like 10:02 or something. I am icing up my foot as we speak to try and get some of the swelling down. It's doing pretty good overall though. It's just I want to get the swelling down. Try to relax here a little bit for tonight. So we had a couple glitches on the ride. That's to be expected. Well, not to be expected, but it happens. Once we got those things resolved, then everything was smooth the rest of the way except for traffic. No more mechanical issues. Let's just put it that way. So we made some pretty good time. We were booking once we got through the second checkpoint to get up here to the hotel. And then, we'll head over to Numidia first thing in the morning, bright and early. I tell you what, man, the bump this year for a Steet Machine Eliminator is insane. 1046 is the bump for the top 32. The last 2 years I've gotten in with 11 O's. Just to give you an idea, that's over half a second faster than the last 2 years for the bump spot. So obviously, unless a lot happens, and I'm not going to make up a half a second, there is no way, that we're going to be able to throw that much power at the dart. So unless, I think I was sitting 53rd out of 214, I believe, that were registered for Steet Machine Eliminator. And so I would have to jump up, 21 spots. So my goal is to, as always, finish, have a good time, meet more people, And let's see if this year we can get a 10-second average. That's kind of the goal. I've never had a 10-second average. Last year it was 11.0003 was my average. So I had an 11-second on the first day, and then the 10 80s the rest of the week. I believe it was 1080s and 1090, something like that. So, we almost had a 10-second average last year. This year, that is what I'm shooting for. So we're going to work on this nitrous controller, work on the car a little bit more, and see if we can't get her down into the 10.8s at least. And like I said, have fun and, meet more people, then finish. So with that said, guys, I am turning in, and we will see you bright and early for day 2 of Hot Rod Drag Week 2025.